Hey everyone, it's Jack from WhatCulture.com, your benevolent dictator of Job Nation, a small sovereign state nestled on the south banks of the River Tyne. And I'm here to give you all the ups and all the downs, or should I say, not many of the downs, from a very strong edition of SmackDown Live. So let's get straight into it. Let's go. So we actually opened a wrestling show in 2017 with a match.
Yay!
Oh my god! It was Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for AJ's US Championship, which has changed hands a few times over the past couple of weeks. And this was a good match with a weird finish. So I'm going to give it an up because they had, you know, better chemistry than they did on the pay-per-view. They were working together really well. There was a lot of impressive spots. And then the ending was a roll-up from AJ after the referee had been accidentally kicked in the face by Owens, and then he was kind of blinded and kind of like counted the three, even though Owens' shoulder was up at like one. So a very weird ending, but a good enough match that I'm going to give it an up. AJ retains the title. Now the aftermath of this match is that Owens stormed backstage and Shane and Daniel Bryan were there, and he lambasted them and said, look, the referee was an idiot and all the rest of it. And then he said, Shane said, you will get a rematch at SummerSlam. And then Owens said, I want a good referee. And then Daniel Bryan, right, went, I know a good referee, mate. And I was like, Daniel Bryan's going to be on the card, he's going to be a special guest. And then he went, Shane's a good ref. And I was like, fucking hell. At least it gives the match something new. The special guest ref gimmicks are always quite interesting when they roll around because they're not used that often. And I'm looking forward to the match. I still think it's quite good. I do enjoy that Owens was really annoyed about the ref being like, his vision being impaired, even though it was him that kicked him in the face. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain! Next up, we had the New Day. They went, oh, Cleveland! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your busted up champs. And everyone went, what? And it was actually the Usos. One of the Usos can do a very good Big E impression. They came out and basically laughed at the New Day and said, we ambushed them, they're weak champs, we're going to get the belts back and all the rest of it. And then Jimmy, I think it was, left Uso, as you look at them. Jimmy, it's Jimmy. He said, he said the word because, but he said it like Xavier Woods. It was really good. I might attempt it. Just went, you know, the whole, because he did like that, but really better than that. And that was
not bad.
Not bad. That segment gets an up. I'm really enjoying the Usos as heels, really good. And I wouldn't mind another match with the New Day, even though it's the same matchup. Their match at Battleground was probably the best thing on the card, so no complaints here. Now, I must confess, despite being best work friends with Sam Driver, who you might have noticed has a lovely Twin Peaks themed tattoo sleeve on his arm. I've never watched Twin Peaks, either the original or the recent remake that's coming out now. So this edition of the Fashion Files, Fashion Peaks, was a bit of a mystery to me. But then again, I've heard fans of Twin Peaks regard the show as a mystery to them as well. So it's apparently quite obtuse. But anyway, the long and short of this was Tyler Breeze is on his own, Fandango's been kidnapped, and then he realised he was in some kind of fever dream. Fandango was there with the Ascension doing all backwards talking and loads of like symbols and stuff, and then Breeze awoke as if to be like, oh, and he said no more metaphors because it's all confusing him. But then he said, I know who did it, I know who kidnapped him. I'm going to give this an up because it was funny and entertaining as it always is, but if it turns out to actually be the Ascension in the end, and that's the joke, like they suspected them all along and it was them, I'm going to be very disappointed. So hopefully it's like anyone else. Next up, Aiden English versus my boy Sami Zayn. Who do you think won?
Sami Zayn.
Aiden English won. What? In about a minute. He rolled him up. It gets a down, he rolled him up, and then the whole point of it was so clean, and then the whole point of it was Aiden ran away all like, I can't believe I've won, so lucky, and Zayn was like, oh, man. And then the Canellises came out and just laughed at him. Next up, a very kind of average match. It was all right. It was definitely acceptable. An acceptable tag team match. Certainly not the best we've seen of the SmackDown Women's division, but an improvement on recent times between Becky Lynch and Naomi, the champion, and Natalya and Carmella, Miss Money in the Bank. And Natalya, I should mention, of course, is the #1 contender for SummerSlam. decent match. There was a cool bit where Naomi struggled across to the ropes when she was locked in the sharpshooter, painting her as like a resilient champion and all the rest of it. She got the rope break, and then there was a bit of a kerfuffle. Carmella got tagged in, or tagged herself in, tried to put on her finisher, the Code of Silence, the stretch thing, and then Naomi reversed it into a submission of her own, and then Carmella tapped while Becky took out Natalya. So that was good, and it sets up a match next week, which was announced on the Twitter, which is Carmella versus Naomi. So I like that. It was a decent match, not too much to shout about, but certainly perfectly acceptable middle of the show kind of entertainment, sports entertainment, if you will. Get to know. Now a very good match. I enjoyed this a lot. Rusev versus Chad Gable, who, let's not forget, has been abandoned by the son of Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan, which is still a weird thing to say. And I hope it doesn't become canon. I hope that Jordan is later revealed that it was all a lie and he never was. But then maybe they'll make Gable. Because Gable used a lot of angle. He was doing belly-to-belly suplexes. He did an ankle lock at one point. No, they wouldn't. Anyway, this was a really good match. A fresh matchup, and Gable knocked it out of the park. It was his big shining chance. He lost, tapping out to the accolade, but he looked really strong in defeat. He hoisted Rusev around with some awesome big suplexes. Also a lovely moonsault. He hit a moonsault as well. Or I think he might have missed it. And Kurt always misses his moon. And it was a proper like angle moonsault.
You're onto something.
No. But anyway, Rusev won. Well done, Chad Gable. Great match. Well done, Rusev as well. And then Randy Orton came out because Rusev was saying, there's no one left. Everyone's scared of me. Apart from John Cena, apparently, who beat him at the last pay-per-view. But he's like, there's no one left for me to challenge at SummerSlam. Everyone's scared of Rusev. And then Orton came out, in my veins, upon the Titantron. And he came out and strolled down and went like, oh, I'm not going to get in the ring, but I'll fight you, mate. And then he did get in the ring, and then Rusev got cross and went to hit him. RKO. Not too excited for this match, but it'll be all right, I guess. As long as it's not, because Orton's been plagued with stupid stipulations all year. As long as it's just a straight singles match. And maybe if Rusev goes over, is that too much to ask? But generally, this segment gets to know. And finally, the dream match, which has been a little bit over-marketed, but fair enough, it's a big match on free TV as well. John Cena, one of the biggest WWE superstars ever, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the biggest global wrestling stars in the world today, squaring off for the right, the privilege of facing Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. And it was a good match. They delivered on their expectations. It was probably the best thing on the show. Cena is good now. He just is. Like, if you've wrestled for that long, I guess, and dedicated your life to wrestling that much, you just can't help but become a very good wrestler. And he is a very good wrestler now. Nakamura, as we know, is a fantastic wrestler when he's motivated, and he was motivated here. They put on a great TV match. It wasn't like kind of mind-blowing AJ versus Cena sort of pay-per-view level awesomeness, but it was a really good TV match. And Nakamura got the pinfall. He is now the #1 contender, which went against my prediction. I was fairly certain that Cena was going to go on to compete for the belt at SummerSlam, but no, it's going to be Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. Who would have seen that match come in WWE like a year ago? Especially a year and a half ago, before Nakamura had even like debuted. Oh man, it's crazy. But it's one of those wrestling matches that they've set up where I'm fully behind Nakamura. Like, I want the babyface to win. I don't want to see the heel win or a good match or anything like that. Primarily, I want the babyface to win, and that's great. And this was a great match as well. Cena put Nakamura over at the end. He raised his arm and everything. It gets an up. What an episode of SmackDown, Phil.
Well done, SmackDown.
Well done, Smackers. You've done it. You're back on form. Right, there's not much. I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com, and I will see you very soon.